Hello, everybody. Welcome to Zach Milne Talks Live. This is episode number 26. I got a very special guest with me to here today, guys. We got Cody from the Brockopp side. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
I'm doing well, doing pretty good. All right, let's see if there's anything going on in the chat. Not quite yet. We're still waiting on some people to come in here. For all you guys that are watching live and watching the replay, welcome to you too. Of course, everyone listening over at the Zach Milne Talks Movies podcast as well. Welcome to everybody listening to the audio. We got a fun show tonight, guys. We've got Constantine sequel. That 2005 superhero movie is coming back. Who would have thought? A Karate Kid movie is in the works, but not with Cobra Kai attached. We'll talk about that as well. And Andor has just premiered its first 3 episodes on Disney Plus. We both had a chance to check it out, so we're definitely going to be talking about that. And we're going to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about as well in the comments down below. We've got Lisbeth in here. Hey, everybody. Well, hey, Lisbeth. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here tonight.
What's up?
We got Luke Ponto. Zach and Cody, what's up? Currently watching Sonic 2 as we talk. Hope all is well. Well, thank you for joining us, Luke. Thank you for taking time away from Sonic 2. Or I guess you're multitasking. We're honored to be a part of your Sonic 2 viewing.
Yeah, thanks for bringing the Zach and Cody jokes back into my life.
Oh my goodness. I didn't even think about that. Oh my goodness. Oh man. This is gonna be a sweet stream with Zach and Cody. That's what
Yeah,
we're doing
first it
right
was
now.
Cody Banks, then that show came along, and
You've just never been able to escape it.
it's been a rough life, man. All right.
Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Well, in case you haven't heard, we actually have an email to the show now. You can email the show at zachtalkslive@gmail.com. If you guys find a news item or a topic that you think should be on the show that you want us to discuss, that's zachtalkslive@gmail.com. And we actually got our first email in today from Oswaldo, who writes, "Hi, Zach. I know it's a little last minute, but you should talk about the Black Adam drama and Fantastic Four casting news." So I don't know much about the Black Adam drama that you're referring to. I think a little something, but it wasn't
Yeah.
anything that we thought to talk about. But according to Deadline, they haven't casted the Fantastic Four. Here's what they had to say. At Disney's D23 event this month, Feige confirmed Shackman as the director of the film, but said that was all he had for the audience at the time, with no cast on board. Feige and Shackman now will focus on finding actors while the script is being written. Sources tell Deadline that Jeff Kaplan and Ian Springer are on board to write the script for the film. So this kind of explains one of the major disappointments that I felt at D23, which I was convinced that they were going to have the director and cast of Fantastic Four walk out on stage. I was kind of jaw dropped surprised when there was no cast announcement whatsoever. I thought maybe
Yeah.
that could be, one or two people haven't signed yet. They haven't got the full cast there yet. But now, according to Deadline, they haven't even casted anyone, and they're just starting to search for their actors. Cody, does this surprise you that they haven't casted any of the Fantastic Four yet?
Uh, I guess a little bit yes and a little bit no, because if I do remember correctly, they did give a release date for their Fantastic Four reboot in like 2024 sometime, I believe.
Yeah.
Um, s- I th- so I guess maybe there's again they just landed the director for this movie because John Watts was originally attached, then he left the project for no real specific reason. Then they got a new one, so I guess they probably just wanted to get the get a few more things settled behind the scenes before they start announcing too much up front. And I think it's probably just one giant ploy to just torture Twitter for like another year until we find out who is getting really cast, because these fan casts keep popping up like every other day, and it's there's like, which one should we use?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be another torturous couple months as we have to endure the fan castings once again. But can I tell you something that if this is true, I feel like is confirmation to me?
Sure.
If this is true and Deadline saying that they're just looking for the cast now and they haven't gotten it yet,
hmm
John Krasinski is not going to be a part of this movie.
Yeah, probably.
I know a lot of people want him as Reed Richards. We got that little taste of him in Multiverse of Madness. I personally don't think that he's going to be in the movie regardless of this news, but now hearing this news from Deadline, I think it's a done deal. I don't think that John Krasinski is going to be our Reed Richards.
Yeah, I yeah, I think unfortunately that could be the case, but also it could be one of those things where they're just waiting until they've got everybody locked on. Like, oh yeah, John Krasinski is attached, but also there's never really any they haven't really been too explicit about John Krasinski's Reed Richards so far. Anyway, it's just like a little tiny bit of like John Krasinski on a talk show talking about a little bit, but like even the bonus features on Multiverse of Madness's Blu-ray don't even acknowledge him whatsoever. So
Yeah.
that was more than likely just a done deal. Like, oh hey, remember that time we put Jim from The Office in the MCU only to get turned into spaghetti? You're welcome, internet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you do bring up a good point too about this because there is that rumor that Jodie Comer is cast as Sue Storm.
Mhm.
So maybe they do have a couple here and there cast, but they just haven't gotten the full cast yet, and now they're looking to complete their puzzle.
Yeah, I think so because it is a team effort after all. So I think it would make the most sense till you've got everybody locked in, plus maybe the villain if they go Doctor Doom or not. So maybe they're just waiting until everything is settled, and maybe also once a script is done too. That usually helps. So.
Yep. Well, question is for you guys. What do you guys think? Is it weird that they haven't casted the Fantastic Four yet, even though it's coming out in 2024 and they've already got a director on board? Comment down below. Let us know all your thoughts and opinions. And thank you to Oswaldo for sending that into the show. All right, guys. Moving on to our main topics of the night. I don't know about you, Cody, but I was pretty surprised. I believe it was on Friday when Twitter kind of blew up with this news that a Constantine sequel with Keanu
Mhm.
Reeves, following where we left off in 2005, is officially in development. This comes to us. Actually, I don't remember. I'll find out at the end. Variety. Okay, this comes to us from Variety. Variety can confirm that Warner Brothers will make a sequel to the 2005 supernatural action film Constantine, starring Keanu Reeves. The blockbuster star will reunite with original director Francis Lawrence, best known for taking over the Hunger Games franchise after the first film. This sequel has long been whispered about amongst fans, especially after the big 15-year reunion both Reeves and Lawrence attended at Comic-Con. Plus, the star himself has openly expressed interest in returning to the holy war raging on the streets of Los Angeles. I just loved that world, Reeves told Variety, and I love that character. I'll tell you why I'm actually very, very surprised to hear that this is getting a sequel. First of all, I
Yeah.
only watched it for the first time a couple days ago. I had not seen Constantine before, but once this got announced, I had to check out the movie.
Mhm.
Constantine comes from an era where we had a lot of solo superhero films back in the early 2000s that they were still kind of trying to find out what the superhero genre is. The cinematic universe hadn't become a huge thing. It would take another 3 years before Iron Man came out. And
Mhm.
when you look at that era of superhero films, and I could be wrong, but this correct me if I'm wrong, Cody, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Constantine is kind of like the first movie from that era that's getting a long awaited sequel. I mean, we don't have a Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire. They changed that up. We don't have Daredevil with Ben Affleck, nor will I ever think we will. We don't have another Elektra. Even
Nobody wants another
Ryan Reynolds'
Electro though.
Green Lantern, which is like I think 2011.
Mhm.
Everything with superheroes, if they're bringing those characters back, they either reboot them, add them to the universe. It's very rare that we see a superhero movie from this era get a sequel. Are you surprised that they're going back to Constantine after all this time?
Uh, a little bit yes and a little bit no because it's an interesting point that you just brought up with the whole like this is like the only comic book property from that era that didn't get a sequel like 2 or 3 years later or got the reboot treatment. I mean, it did get the reboot treatment because I forget the actor's name, but Constantine has been in the CW Arrowverse
Right. He was on Legends of
across.
Tomorrow and stuff.
Yeah, and he's
I
popped
liked
up
that
in like,
Constantine.
yeah, me too. See, it's a little bit surprising because of that. It's been 15, 17 years now since, well, this first movie came out. Uh,
I did not expect you to have it. You're like Luke Ponto with the magic tricks. Just
yeah, I own
movie you
all
talk
the
about his gray
things.
hair.
But also, it's like it's not totally surprising because we're at that point in like the culture where it's like everything from the early 2000s, everyone there's now grown up and they're feeling nostalgic, so it's like, oh yeah, let's bring all of these back. So we got Toby and Andrew back, and even Brandon Routh got another turn as Superman in the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover event. So at that point, definitely does not surprise me. Plus, also, it is Keanu Reeves. He's at like this incredible resurgence in his career right now, and his, the internet is just, simping over the man, over everything he does, which is kind of nice, probably a little overwhelming, but still it's really cool. So I think people just want to, and also Keanu Reeves himself is, really into the character. So it's like, let's just finally get down and make magic happen.
Right. And that's a really good point that you bring up with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield coming back, even Brandon Routh in some ways coming back. But those characters came back in an already established cinematic or in Legend of Tomorrow's case, DC television universe. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't get official sequels to their movies. Do you think Constantine 2 I have two questions first. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think that Constantine 2 should be a solo film, or do you think that they should have incorporated them into the DCEU?
Probably going the solo route would be the most ideal because it has been so long, and it's not just a, oh hey, Keanu is just gonna pop in for 5 seconds in a live action Crisis movie. It's like, no, he's getting his own movie, and as far as we can tell, there was no other greater DC connections from the first film. So probably just go in the solo route, and if they want to, there's rumors of a Crisis on Infinite Earths type event movie several years down the pipeline. If they want to throw them in that way, it's entirely possible. But I think it's gonna just stick to a solo sequel for now.
That you kind of touched upon a little bit of a tinfoil hat question I have. Do you think that with Marvel going for the multiverse, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they kind of beat DC to it. I think DC did it on TV first, but in the movies they kind of beat DC to the multiverse stuff with Secret Wars coming out, all this stuff from Marvel. Do you think it's possible that we're going to get more announcements of old DC properties getting sequels so that they can then bring them into a big multiverse, maybe Crisis on Infinite Earths type situation? Do you think this Constantine 2 is the first little breadcrumb leading us down that trail?
It's possible. I'm not really sure how many other like properties from yesteryear they could bring back in a solo variety because I'm thinking about like all the DC properties that were going on pre 2010 essentially. There is this movie which, had one and done. Chris Nolan finished his trilogy, and there's like they're probably not going to touch that unless Chris Nolan signs back on, which seems
Mm-hmm.
highly unlikely. Uh,
I don't think
if
Christian
any,
Bale would come back without him.
yeah, he's said that in interviews in the past and somewhat recently too. I think it'll probably just kind of be like what it sounds like they're doing with the Flash movie. It's like if any of these iterations come back, it's going to be in a multiversal type thing where it's maybe just a extended cameo or two because going back to the CW Crisis event series from 2019, there were a lot of legacy quote unquote cameos in there. Everything from Burt Ward as Robin to the short-lived Birds of Prey TV show, which is like
Oh man.
a really nice deep cut in there. So if they do anything like that, it's probably going to be just restricted to that because everything else has either been finished their iteration or rebooted to oblivion. So I think it's possible there could be more, but I think this will be more of just a one and done.
Hmm. Well, what do you guys think of a Constantine sequel all these years later? Did you like the 2005 Constantine movie or were you not a fan? Comment down below. Let us know all your thoughts and opinions. And without further ado, let's take a look at what you guys are saying about this. All right, we got Namor in here. What's up, Namor? Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching and joining us in here tonight. I just watched Bullet Train yesterday. I missed Bullet Train. I still haven't seen Bullet Train. I
Oh, you
really
did?
want to. I don't know why I haven't yet. Have you checked it out, Cody?
Yeah, I went and saw it opening night, I believe, which is funny because I actually tried to see it. You know those like opening night fan events they have like 2 days, 3 days in advance sometimes.
I hear of them. I don't ever get them.
Oh, right, because you're Canadian. My bad.
I'm Canadian and Canada doesn't allow that.
Yeah.
That's not
Uh,
true. I just don't live in a big enough city.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I tried to go to one of those like 2, 3 days beforehand, but the movie didn't play. It was just a computer mouse cursor on the screen for 40 minutes. And they're like, sorry, it broke. And I'm like, oh, okay. But long story short, yes, I did. It was fun. It was stupid. I'll probably pick it up when it comes out physically.
Nice. Did you at any point think that the cursor on the screen was the movie? Were you like, this is a weird direction to go, but if this is how you want
Uh,
to start it, sure.
from one of the directors of John Wick, definitely not. It was too much of a slow burn overture for a movie like that. And even like the people sitting next to me were like, "So what do you think about the opening of this movie so far?" I'm like, "Oh, I believe it's very avant-garde for them to start with just a blank screen like this. Really gets you into the void of the character." And
Takes guts of some filmmakers to do that. I tell you that. Luke
yeah,
Ponto. I'll start Andor tomorrow, and I'm excited. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we'll talk spoilers in the discussion. I haven't really honestly made up my mind, but maybe we won't. But I don't think there's too much to spoil, to be honest. But I
I
I
heard the
hope you
main
enjoy it,
character
man.
dies.
Elizabeth, all those fan castings down the trash. I
Not
mean,
yet.
not yet. That's true. They have more
Seth
life than
Rogen could
ever
still be
now.
the thing.
Luke Ponto, what movies do you like to watch around Halloween time? Um, if I'm going like horror, Nightmare on Elm Street's one that I'll throw on. I like watching like my wife definitely likes watching more tame ones like Coraline, and I like watching Nightmare
Coraline's
Before
tame?
Christmas. Coraline's pretty tame. It's not.
Minus the buttons getting sewn into people's eyes, but
Yeah, in
yeah.
some ways it's more extreme than Nightmare on Elm Street, but there's no blood or guts or anything like that. She doesn't appreciate
Yeah.
that stuff. But I also like to watch A Nightmare Before Christmas on Halloween, and it's kind of like a transition for me into Christmas season. What
Oh,
about you?
cool. I love me some slasher movies, so always got to go with Halloween. It's hands down my favorite. Probably because I got into it like first. It was like that was my introduction to horror films, basically. So I have a serious soft spot for those films. Not always all 10 of them, but like the original and maybe like Halloween 2 and 4. I also will Prob and probably, like, some of the ones like Friday the 13th and, Nightmare on Elm Street as well. If I'm feeling a little I also like to watch old Halloween specials of, like, TV shows like SpongeBob and things like that, like, when he was trying to
That's
be
awesome.
scary, so he shaved off his sponginess and turned into a ghost, so little bit of this, little bit of that, but
Oh my goodness, that totally just took me back. That's awesome. I loved those Halloween specials on those like kids shows growing up. The
yep.
Sweet Life of Zach. Speaking of Zach and Cody, the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody one, where the ghost is in that suite. I think it's six
Oh,
thirteen,
yeah.
and like Esteban gets possessed, but he's not really possessed, but he acts
Mhm.
possessed. Totally freaked me out as a kid. Like ran out of the room, scared out of my mind. I think it's one of the scariest kids specials for Halloween I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, that one was definitely an experience.
They took chances. Lisbeth, there's a possibility of John Krasinski coming back, but it's really, really, really low. I mean, it's true. There is a chance. I just
Yeah,
don't think it's happening.
yeah. It'd be cool if it did though, because I feel like maybe with a full film he could have more time to shine and have more material to work with. But at the end of the day, if he was just there for like that little cameo, why not just bring back Ian Grufford from the original movies and people would have been like, oh hey, that's kind of cool. But
I thought that would have been cool.
yeah,
I wasn't like too hot on his portrayal as Reed Richards. I thought he did fine. There also wasn't enough time for him to really show us what he's got as Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Luke Ponto, I rewatched True Romance for the 6th time last night. One of my top favorites. I've never seen True Romance. Have you
You
seen this
watched it.
movie?
Did you watch it 6 times last night or for the 6th time?
For the 6th time last night. I know it's a little hard to tell.
But no, I have not seen True Romance. If it's worthy of watching half a dozen times without stopping, then maybe I have to check it out.
Yeah, it sounds like I need to check that out too. Thanks for putting that on the radar, man. Lisbeth, it's been 17 years. Now they want to release a sequel. I guess they just waited for the right story and the right script to come along.
I
Do
know.
you
It's like,
believe that?
I know. These people waiting 17 years. It's like, what's next? Gonna wait 30 years for Top Gun 2? Whoops.
Oh yeah, that worked out well. So I guess I gotta bite my tongue there. It might actually turn out to be pretty awesome. Lisbeth, I wasn't a big fan of the 2005 one. Just pretty lame, honestly. Yeah, I watched it like I mentioned for the first time a couple days ago. Wasn't a huge fan of it either. What do you think of it?
I liked it. It's not like top 10 favorite comic book movies ever, but it's just it's got some flair to it that you don't see with a lot of comic book films these days. It's like dark and some kind of sepia tone colors, and also it's got Keanu Reeves using the holy shotgun, so that's just kind of badass innately. So,
So
no,
stupid. It was cool. The movie is very style. Like
yeah,
it has a very cool style, but like I don't know. I found the story to be like muddy and convoluted, overly convoluted. And I mean, like coming to it as I see everything in my perspective as a Christian, the theology was just I just couldn't take it. It was not for me. It was not for me. Lisbeth, I like to watch Disney Channel Halloween specials around Halloween time as well. That's awesome. I am not gonna lie. I watch Sesame Life of Zack and Cody one kind of often. It's nostalgic, and I also think it's a legit good episode. Luke Ponto just finished Sonic 2 for the 3rd time. Still awesome. Nice. I've still only seen it once. What did you think of Sonic 2?
I really liked it. It gave us more of like some stuff from the games, which was really cool. I just wish it could have been like a lot more into the realm of the games, like kind of just like go completely off world, focus a little less on Earth based stuff. Because after a while, it just kind of felt like a Cartoon Network movie in some parts. But don't get me wrong, I still really, really liked it. Can't wait for what they do with number 3.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was okay. I wasn't. I'm definitely not as big on it as Luke is. Luke loves it, and that's awesome. Happy for you, Luke. But yeah, I enjoyed the first one a lot more than the second one. But Idris Elba as Knuckles was worth the price of admission. He was awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Namor, here are all the cameos that were cut from Doctor Strange 2. Bl- Boulder the
Baldur the
Brave?
Brave?
I don't know who Boulder the Brave is. Thor's half brother Thor's half brother. Okay, sorry, let me try this again. Boulder the Brave, Thor's half brother, Magneto, Ghost Rider, Loki, Ben Affleck Daredevil, all the X-Men, MCU, Mordo, Superior Iron Man, Deadpool, and more. The only one that I know has been confirmed out of those ones is Superior Iron Man. I don't know if the other ones were actually cut from the script or like if they even attempted to put those in. But if they
I
did, that's a lot of cameos to
Yeah.
cut.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that entire list, but I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that Deadpool was originally gonna cameo in this one, but they decided, no, let's wait a while.
I
Let
think
the
that's the right choice.
Yeah,
He wouldn't have fit the tone. He would have totally distracted from the movie.
yeah, but Superior Iron Man would have been cool though. Only if it
Yeah,
was Tom Cruise.
apparently they approached Tom Cruise and it was just a scheduling thing
Yeah.
that he couldn't do it. That's crazy to me that they actually approached him. Luke Ponto, I've seen True Romance 5 times before last night. Okay. So
Okay, so you
so
watch it 5 times a night before. Gotcha.
Oh, Luke, you gotta be more specific. All right, and with that, we are gonna move on to topic number 2, guys. And topic number 2, this was also Friday, I think. There was a lot of announcements made on Friday. I'm sure, as you guys know, Cobra Kai has kind of taken the world by storm. I don't think the Karate Kid name has been hotter than it has since Cobra Kai has come out. It originally started on YouTube Red, which is kind of baffling to believe. I mean, when you go back to that first season, you can kind of feel it. The acting's kind of shaky at times. It's not always the best, but once you get past like into season 2, season 3, 4, I just finished season 5. I thought it was very good as well. Going into the show, I felt like it was kind of running its course. Halfway through season 5, I wasn't feeling that anymore. And then after season 5, it ended in a way that I don't know about you guys, kind of felt like a finale to me. I'm not going to give anything away, but the way that they ended the show, I'm surprised they're going for a 6th season because it really did feel like the show could just end here. I don't know what they're going to do. They did a lot of resolutions. Characters felt like they had complete arcs, like that we've been following since season 1. I felt very satisfied where they left it off, but they're going to go for a season 6. But it looks like Sony is looking to the future beyond Cobra Kai because it came out on Friday. They are developing a new Karate Kid movie. This comes from Entertainment Weekly. Sony's Columbia Pictures division revealed Friday it has scheduled a new Karate Kid movie to hit theaters June 7th, 2024. Little is known about the production, which is simply described as the return of the original Karate Kid franchise. No word yet on the on screen talent, filmmaking team, or plot details. John Hurwitz, co creator of Netflix's Cobra Kai, addressing and explaining if he's part of the new Karate Kid film Sony Pictures confirmed to be coming out in 2024, said, "The guys and I would love to make Karate Kid and Cobra Kai movies and hope to someday. But this one isn't from us or focused on the Cobra Kai cast. Don't know much about it, but wish it well." And that comes to us from Deadline. So, this I find very, very interesting for a couple of reasons. Um, it has been confirmed that Cobra Kai season 6 is greenlit, is happening. I believe I read an interview with the writers and they said that they had a deal with Netflix.
Netflix
But they're
not
going off
canceling a
to
show for once. That's pretty cool. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I know. But they're going off to do another show. So they haven't even written the 6th season yet.
Oh.
And what makes me kind of surprised by that is if they haven't written it yet and they're going off to do another show, so that's probably going to take them into 2023 pretty deeply. Season 6 might not come out until 2024. Hopefully, no longer than 2024. It could be 2025. But the fact that they're going to be doing a Karate Kid movie potentially right after Cobra Kai is wrapped up or during its final season seems really weird to me to do with the brand. I especially am confused by the line in Entertainment Weekly's article where it says the film is described as the return of the original Karate Kid franchise.
Isn't that what the show's for?
That's that's exactly what Cobra Kai was. And Cobra Kai, honestly, did it better than any person I think could do with the Karate Kid franchise. The Karate Kid movies are ones that I've enjoyed. I especially like the first one from 1984. The sequels, not so much. But even Cobra Kai bringing the show back, it's made me love the characters the most I've ever loved them, and it's made me look back on Karate Kid 2 and even Karate Kid 3 with fonder eyes, knowing where the story goes in Cobra Kai.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, Cody, that it's a smart decision to do a new Karate Kid franchise with new characters, a new idea, while the world is so wrapped up in Cobra Kai and it could be coming out when the show is still on air or has just left?
Well, I understand Sony wanting to, keep cashing in on the Cobra Kai Karate Kid hype because, like you said, the show is just, it's got people talking. They're going into season 6, so they're like, okay, we've proven that people want to come back to this franchise on the small screen. Let's bring it back to the big screen. But yeah, it is a little unusual for them to be, you know, doing something that's detached from what sounds like the main continuity of like the original movies and the show and everything. But maybe it could just be like some sort of standalone type film or like something that could potentially spawn like a sub franchise of Karate Kids. Like it could be like a new, trainer trainee
Expanding
duo.
the Karate Kid universe, so to speak.
Yeah, like see what's going on outside of Cobra Kai and Mr. Miyagi and everything. So I guess they're just trying to see. They're just trying to test the waters a bit, see like how much they can get away with, bringing this franchise to more eyeballs. On the flip side, Sony's just a little goofy generally, with all their Marvel properties and everything, making Craven the Hunter movies and all that. So they're just like, all right, what do we greenline today?
Yep.
Karate Kid movie, but not Karate Kid. Perfect. So
Yep. Yep.
it could
During
be.
the early 2000s, no, early 2010s, sorry. Um, I said to my friends, like I was very vocal. I thought Sony was the worst movie studio. Like I just thought they made the worst decisions, did the worst stuff with their movies. I thought they put out so much bad stuff. And these past couple of years, I've kind of been changing my tune on that. They've been putting
Yeah,
out a couple
then something
interesting,
magical happened.
yeah, something magical, a miracle you could say happened at
Yeah,
Sony.
yeah.
But recently, and I'm not gonna lie, a lot of this has to do with Morbius. It feels like they've kind of slid back into that position for me.
Yeah, I can't disagree really because it's like 2017 seemed like the beginning of the turnaround because Spider-Man Homecoming came out. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Back to basics with Spider-Man. That's pretty cool. And
But Marvel
then
Marvel gave them a lot of help with that.
that's true, but Sony still had their toes in it.
You're right.
Uh, yeah, honestly, the more I think about it, 2017, 2018 was like the definition of a mixed bag for that studio because Spider-Man Homecoming, great. Emoji Movie, burn it with fire. Jumanji 2, okay, pretty cool. Do another one, I guess, maybe. And then 2018 was like, Spider-Verse, yes, I love it. Pump it into my veins right now. Venom, it's like, okay, it's not good, but it's entertaining.
I
I'm
wasn't there.
conflicted.
I mean, I was there, but I wish I wasn't. I didn't like
Yes.
Venom.
So I think I was harsh on it when it first came out, but I've started to come around to it, and I actually liked Let There Be Carnage
I
quite a
like that
bit,
one.
even though it has literally the exact same issues as the first movie, but done better, I guess.
I just
It,
knew what
it
to expect
it's
by
weird.
that
Then
point.
Morbius came out, and I wanted to jump off a bridge, but I think they're just trying to be like, all right, you get one gem and you get one turd every year. Have
Right.
fun.
Hopefully, this Karate Kid doesn't turn out to be a turd. But bringing it back to the Karate Kid,
Oh yeah, right.
when it says it's a return to the original Karate Kid, what do you think that could mean? Because I have two ways of thinking of that. The one way that kind of jumps out first and foremost, but I think is not the way, is
Hmm.
going back is in a legacy sequel. But as we've discussed, Cobra Kai already
Yes.
kind of did that. It deals with Johnny, it deals with Daniel, where they're at, training new kids, bringing up the new generation, brings back other characters from the franchise. They already did that in a phenomenal way, in my opinion, on TV.
Hmm.
The other way I think of it is it's going to be a movie that has the same feel as the 1984 original. It's basically their sneaky way of saying it's a remake. What do you
Uh,
think?
I don't think necessarily a remake, but I feel like it could be more like a back to basics Karate Kid type movie. I don't know how like complicated the current Cobra Kai situation is because I'm only on season one. Don't hurt me, but so I think it's kind of like maybe just like going back to the basic principles of you know characters. Being bullied, needs to learn to defend himself. Trainer comes in, cool training practices and everything, then the main character gets propped up with all his cool new karate abilities and everything. So it's probably more like that because I don't know what else they could do otherwise. They already did the remake thing in 2010, which actually was I
I
think it was
liked it.
that was pretty good. I haven't watched it since it came out,
2010.
but uh so it could just be more like a set in the universe of the main movies, just something a little different, but still has the same feel of the original.
Yeah, that's a good point. one final question I'll give to you is, do you think that now is the right time to do it? As I mentioned before, with Cobra Kai and stuff being out,
Mhm.
and do you think audiences would be excited for it? Would you be excited for it? Because I can tell you right now, I'm kind of not at the moment. I mean, I've already got the original characters on TV. They're doing great stuff with their stories. I'm not really that interested in another Karate Kid movie that won't involve them or their storylines or even a remake at this point. But I mean, it doesn't mean it's not going to be a good movie.
Mhm.
But do you think audiences are excited for another Karate Kid at this point?
I mean, I understand totally where you're coming from, but it's also like you look at a few current examples of like dual franchise iteration type situations going on where it's like, oh, we've got the Tom Holland live action Spider Man going on, but we've got these animated Spider Verse movies as well. It's like people are okay with, two major theatrical Spider Men going on. And of course, we've got, two to three live action Batman happening simultaneously too. So I think it's just gonna be a matter of is it going to be good and does it like, is it going to spell out the future for the franchise? Is it gonna have any major connections? But I think it just comes down to if everything's all good, people will enjoy and they will pay with their wallets or vote with their wallets, I guess. So
You totally brought this to a different angle for me. What if it's an animated movie with Miyagi and Daniel taking place in the 80s again and just continuing them in an animated form because we don't have Mr. Miyagi with us anymore? That would be an interesting way to go with it. Question goes to you guys, though. What do you guys think of a new Karate Kid movie returning to the original Karate Kid but not being Cobra Kai? I don't know what they're doing. Are you excited for it? Comment down below and let us know all your thoughts and opinions. And let's take a look at what you guys are saying.
I think they would have been more straightforward about it being animated, but that could be cool. I mean, we're getting an animated Gremlins show eventually, so anything's possible.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that like years ago.
It's happening, I think. Don't quote me on
Eventually.
that.
All right, let's see where we left off here. Luke Ponto. Cobra Kai is fantastic. I agree, man. You mentioned that you were watching season 1. How are you liking it so far?
Okay, when I say I'm watching it, I mean I kinda stepped into it a little bit a
It's in
while
your
back.
queue.
Like, I'm like 2 or 3 episodes into it, so I'm not like a
Mm,
complete screw up in that regard, but I like what I'm seeing so far. It's something I keep meaning to watch all the way through because I think I could definitely get glued to it, but the problem is I just keep finding other shows to get glued to, but
yeah.
I just finished The Good Place, so I have a little empty slot in my watching libraries, so maybe I'll slip it in there just so I can finally understand everyone on Twitter is talking about all the time.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I just watch TV now is to understand what my Twitter feed is talking about. There's so much stuff.
Yeah, my Twitter feed still hasn't gotten me into pro wrestling, but just give it time.
You follow Zach Color?
Yeah, and a few others. I'm like, I all I know is AEW is crap. That's all I know.
Oh, might start a fight there. I don't want to get into that. I'm
I
not
mean,
interested in wrestling.
AEW is cool.
A&W, the restaurant's pretty good. Lisbeth, we've already gotten that really great Karate Kid reboot from 2010. Why another one? Yeah, I like that Karate Kid. I mean, I know it's kung fu in the movie, and people had a problem with that when it came out. But Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan, I thought it was a good remake when it came out.
Yeah, I think people would just laugh at Jaden Smith if he came back to the role, but that one was a good time when it came out.
Yeah, I haven't seen him act in a little bit. I think maybe the last time I watched him act was After Earth, which isn't a great last impression to have, but he was
Yeah,
good as a kid in that Karate Kid movie from 2010.
yeah,
I thought
definitely.
he did a great job. Lisbeth, I heard that it'll be the opposite. A teenager that has studied kung fu and teaches an adult man getting bullied by his
Yeah,
old high school bullies. I'm just not excited at all.
that's what I've heard too.
I don't know if I like that. I mean, on paper, I don't know. I don't know. Execution, it could turn out better. I don't know why I'm thinking of Get Hard right now. That's what that reminded me of. Kevin Hart training Will Ferrell to go to prison. But that's I don't know if I like that take.
I was
It feels desperate to me.
I don't know. You mentioned the Get Hard. My mind just went to that episode of South Park where the parents are trying to unlock the parental controls, so they have to learn how to play Minecraft and answer the security questions from a kid. But I don't know. I mean, it's the same basic principle, just flip the other way around. So if that's the case, I don't know. It could work. We'll see what happens.
That's a good point. It is the same principle, just flipped around. Elizabeth, I think we might get Cobra Kai season 6, maybe December 2023 or January 2024. I feel like it is a very cheap show to make if you really look at it. They haven't written it yet, but they probably have it. I know that they like have talked about how they've mapped out where their end game is, so they probably have a pretty good idea of what season 6 will be about.
Hmm.
And the kids probably have tuned into the choreography over all these years that it probably wouldn't take as long to learn it. So maybe they could hit December 2023 or late 2023, but I still think more likely they're going to hit 2024.
Mm.
Namor, I have a what if season 2 idea. What if Captain Marvel defeated Wanda in Doctor Strange 2? Well, that's interesting because that's already in a multiverse place. So that would not only just affect the main MCU timeline, but that would also affect their multiverse timeline in that multiverse.
Yeah.
Am I right there, or did I just convolute things?
I mean, it's what if. It's usually episodes of like, oh, what if this character was actually that one? So
Yeah, I
it could
feel
be
like
it could be interesting.
fight,
Just
the fight could be fun to watch, but I mean, you take out Wanda, our MCU, the only thing that changes is no one knows where Wanda is. And by the end of Doctor Strange 2, it kind of looks like that's where they're at already. And
yeah.
we don't really know about the other multiverse lands. So I don't really know uh, what the conclusion of that would be. Lisbeth, I feel like they should wait 2 to 4 years after Cobra Kai's series finale. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. I think you should let it rest. Let that good Cobra Kai fill the air for a little bit before you do something new. But studios, they got to make that money, and if something's looking like it's gonna make them money, they're going for it. Elizabeth, I'd rather watch TMNT Out of the Shadows 10 times than watch the Emoji Movie one more time. TMNT
That
Out of the Shadows is so much more entertaining than Emoji Movie. Are you a
that's the
TMNT guy?
that's the 2007 animated movie, right?
No, no, no. That's just TMNT. The Out of the Shadows was the sequel to the live action one that was produced by Michael Bay. I think it was
Oh, right.
2015,
I forgot about
2004.
that one. Yeah, I am a Ninja Turtles guy, not like hardcore, but I am for sure a fan. I haven't watched Out of the Shadows all the way through, but I actually
No.
kind of liked the 2014 live action movie. Uh, I've seen the Emoji Movie once, and that was too many times.
Yeah, that was
So
enough for me too. I really only did it because a couple friends of mine said that they wanted me to like do a review for the Emoji Movie on my channel, and this is like the first year that I started, so it's a crappy review. But
mm,
but yeah, that's why I watched it in the first place.
yeah, honestly, I considered getting the Blu-ray or just the DVD of that, doing an unboxing, but I'm like, oops, I smashed it into pieces by accident.
That would probably get you a lot of views. People would love to watch that.
Yeah.
Luke Luke Ponto. I liked Venom Let There Be Carnage a small bit more than the first. Morbius is an abomination against humanity. Worst movie of 2022. Yeah, I think that's almost universally agreed on that Morbius is the worst movie of 2022.
Yeah. Can I tell you something, but promise not to judge me too harshly for it?
Sure, go for it. It'll be on the internet forever. Oh, he's going. He's going somewhere. I think I know what he's doing. I think I know what he's getting. I don't want to say it. I don't want to spoil it. Oh, you got the steel book.
Yeah. It's
I thought,
sealed, mind you, so
yeah, I saw that the plastic wrap is still on there. Okay, but that steel book does look pretty cool.
that was part of it. The other one is I'm just prolonging the day when I actually open it up and rewatch the movie. I feel like it could be a video where I just lose my mental state completely while I do it. So I'm like, I'm just gonna pocket this piece of poo for later, for when I'm just really desperate for some content or something.
I thought what you were gonna grab because I loved I laughed my head off when you posted this on Twitter. I loved it. Was your official Morbius fan club shirt that you had made
Yeah, that's yeah, that's in the wash somewhere, but yeah,
because
I
you wear
saw.
it so often?
No, it's because I refuse to clean it because it's a filthy, filthy abomination of a T-shirt that I made ironically, but
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, that was I laughed. So you I'm just gonna take a minute to gush about you for a second. You are so creative with your videos.
no,
I
thank you.
I I'm honestly, and I mean this like in a total complimentary way. It's a crime that you don't have over 1,000 subscribers right now. Like,
No,
guys, seriously, check out the Brock Upside. He's so funny. He's so entertaining. His your editing, dude, is something that I aspire to. Like, honestly, I love the structure of your videos. I love the way you put them together, and your timing in them is so good.
no,
So good.
thank you.
Like, honestly, your channel is something really special that you're building, dude. I just want to take a second to gush in front of everyone and tell them to go subscribe to the Brock Upside. The link to his channel is in the description, guys. You have no excuse. Trust me, you will not be
Yeah.
disappointed when you get there. All right, I'm done embarrassing you for a little bit. Luke
Oh,
Ponto,
snap.
did you guys see the new Strange World trailer? I'm honestly not excited for that movie. Did you see that trailer?
Uh, I haven't seen the new one, no. I don't go too crazy with, like, a lot of animated trailers unless I'm, like, really, really hyped for it, but I'll check it out. It could be interesting.
Yeah, I honestly from the trailer, and this is just me, maybe, but it looks too generic for a Disney animated movie, in my opinion. Like when I found out that it was Disney, I was kind of surprised. It came across more as like a Sony animated or like a DreamWorks or something. Not that those studios are bad, don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
but like there is that kind of like bar that we've all set for Disney animation. And I didn't feel like it reached that in the trailer at least. The movie could be really good, but
Yeah, I mean, I kinda like the what it sounds like it's gonna have, like, some old-fashioned adventure, old B-movie sci-fi type stuff, but, of course, with the Disney treatment, so that much intrigues me, but honestly, I think there's some times where it's like, for me at least, a lot of animated movies, the trailers don't always sell them that greatly, but then I'll watch the movie and I'm like, "Oh, that was quite good." The marketing was designed for somebody not my age, but other
yeah, that's the thing too, is younger people, right? Sometimes I forget about that. Sometimes I'm so self-entitled. I'm like, "What? This doesn't look good to me," but it's like for like
this
young
doesn't
kids.
appeal to my taxpayer values.
It's gonna be nostalgic for like a little 5-year-old one day. PMP Chimpin. Well, thank you, man, for joining the show. Welcome. Good to have you here. He says hi. And hi to you too.
What up?
Luke Ponto. After rewatching Sonic 2, I'm so ready for Sonic 3.
Shadow baby.
I'm a little like, even though I wasn't huge on Sonic 2, I'm a little disappointed that Jim Carrey is looking like he's not going to return for Sonic 3.
Yeah, he is kind of like the glue that holds those two movies together, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
He's
Maybe
why
he'll
I
come.
saw it in the first place.
Yeah. But who knows? Maybe he'll come back for a third movie.
Yeah. Do you believe he's retiring? This is totally like a different question, but do you believe that he's actually retiring like he said he is?
He, uh, maybe. Yeah. I mean, the man has had one heck of a career since the mid 90s, so it's well earned for sure, but I hope he at least comes back for Sonic 3 and then maybe retires if he chooses to, but we'll see.
Yeah. And he seems like someone when you watch him in interviews, he's done with Hollywood. Like he just seems like he doesn't want to be in that system anymore.
Yeah, definitely.
Luke Ponto. Now I'm currently rewatching Heat with Sandra Bullock and oh no, that's the
Nah,
Heat. Heat is I've actually never seen Heat. It's been on my
stop.
watch list for a very long time.
Me too, but I know what he's talking about at least.
Schofield Studios. Hello there. Well, hey, Schofield Studios. Thank you for joining us, man. Thanks for jumping in the stream tonight. Happy to have you here.
I was gonna pull a
Uh,
General Kenobi joke, but I don't have 4 arms.
oh man, don't you hate when that happens?
Yeah.
Elizabeth, did you guys ever see that Karate Kid animated series? Man, that series was amazing. I think I saw it
Hmm?
too late in life because I found it when I was like 15. I think I found it through a Nostalgia Critic video. I don't know if you ever watched Nostalgia Critic,
Oh, I
but
I love Nostalgic Critic. Well, I used
yeah,
to watch them a lot, but not
I
so
watched him
much.
all the time too, and he did one on the Karate Kid animated series, I believe. And I watched an episode or two when I was like 15, and it's at that point it
Huh.
wasn't for me anymore. But
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen the animated show. Plus, I was more of an angry video game nerd guy myself, so but maybe
I
I'll
only
check
watched
it.
their collabs.
I'll like,
Uh,
yeah.
Schofield Studios. I heard of the Karate Kid reboot. I think it sounds interesting. Who do you think should play the old man and the teenager? Depends on how old they want to go, I guess.
Bryan
That's a tough.
Cranston, Aaron Paul, done.
That's Bryan Cranston's an interesting one. I don't know. I'm very bad with castings off the top of my head. Like who's an old man that like do we want him to still be like? I guess he wouldn't be like wise because if it's a I don't know. I can't answer that without knowing the details. It feels weird to me.
Yeah, we'll see.
Luke Ponto. Hey Zach, don't forget we have the Cobra Kai stream on Saturday. I won't forget, man. I guess that's a good point to plug it here. I was gonna plug it at the end of the show, but you beat me to it. Saturday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm jumping on Luke Ponto's channel and we're talking about Cobra Kai. I believe we're talking about all the seasons because I think he wants to rank them. And we're doing a full-on spoiler season 5 talk. So join us Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go check out Luke Ponto's channel. Luke Ponto,
Maybe I
both
will.
maybe you better. No, I'm kidding, man. Luke Ponto. Both Michael Bay TMNT movies, I think, are horrible. I mean, I like the first one.
Understandable. I
I
mean,
think it's stupid that Splinter trained them from a book that he found in the sewer. I thought that was awful, and I didn't really like the rendition of Shredder that they did.
yeah, that was just due to reshoots because people were mad that the guy that the one guy was supposed to be Shredder. Then they were like, "Oh, the fans don't like
That's
that, so we're gonna make
right.
him just a shadow character." I don't
Oh,
know.
you're right.
I don't know. I actually really enjoyed that one, but the original '90s Turtles movies far superior. I can't wait to see what they do with the new animated movie next year. I don't
Oh
know. It
yeah,
just
I'm hoping that animated movie. Seth Rogen, I believe, is producing that one.
hmm
Um, I hope that is finally TMNT for me again, because I mean it. I understand that it's again. Here's my self entitledness again. I understand that it's for kids. It's a kids property, but I
hmm
feel like they've totally alienated those who grew up with it, and I want like a adult mature Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that I can really like get into, you know.
by
But I don't know.
mature.
Nickelodeon bought them, so maybe they'll just keep it the way it is. But I am looking forward to seeing what Seth Rogen and them do with that animated one.
Yeah. Now I'm kind of thinking maybe they should try to do like some more direct to video animated movies, like based on the old comic books where it was black and white, much darker, much grittier, a
Hmm.
little more violent. Give just a little bit a nice smorgasbord of TMNT. So if you like that, you got that. So you got all the varieties of it. But
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
they did that Paramount Plus day. Remember that? It was like I think it was last year, and they like announced all these titles of stuff that was coming out on Paramount Plus, which I'm starting to think a lot of that was like a smokescreen, like they were just trying to impress
smoke
people.
up
But
your butt. Yep.
well, because they announced a Star Trek 4 film without even letting the cast know, they found out in the news, and they announced, and I was surprised by this, and I believe it's not happening anymore. They were going to
hmm
do a Knuckles series, and they said Idris Elba was voicing him in the series. I don't know if I believe that's happening, but in that Paramount Plus day, they said that they were going to focus on TMNT villain movies, like how
Oh
Sony's doing their
God.
Spider-Man villain movies. I had that same reaction until I thought about how cool would it be to have a Shredder movie rated R in the samurai times.
Dang, you could be onto something there. My mind went
right?
straight to Bebop and Rocksteady buddy movie, but that could work too. We'll
I'm just
see.
planting the seed. Hopefully Sony's watching. Not Sony. Paramount. Hopefully Paramount's watching. Namor. Natalie Dyer is rumored to play Jean Grey in X-Men. I haven't heard of that rumor.
Yes, first time hearing of it, but we'll see.
It's possible. Luke
Yeah.
Ponto. I have the lenticular slip from Morbius on 4K. My brain cells were completely lost after a rewatch. I love that you
I am so
rewatched
sorry,
it.
man. I'm so sorry, man. Why'd you do that to yourself?
I find it so funny. Like, and I'm totally guilty of this too. Like, we as film fans, when we hate a movie and we know we don't like it,
It
yet we'll
sucks. Here's my
yet we'll
30
still
bucks.
buy it. We'll still spend money on it to buy it just to have it in our collection, whether it's for completion's sakes or whatever. And then sometimes we watch it again, even though we know that we hated it.
Yep.
It's so funny to me. Josh Jones is in here. Hello. Well, hello, Josh. Thank you for
Hello.
joining us. Thank you for being here tonight, man. Happy to have you. Namor, fan casting for Doctor Doom. I liked the Henry Cavill one that someone I saw it online once that someone fan casted Henry Cavill as Doctor Doom. I don't know that they'd ever do it, but I kind of liked it.
Hmm. Yeah,
Do you have
maybe,
any?
but I also want him to stay as Superman. Just give him a little more time in that role. But
Yeah,
yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't
I don't
know.
know too much. I don't know a ton about Doctor Doom, so I can't really have a proper opinion on like who could pull him off. So just kind of have to see who they inevitably do cast. But I think they'll do him justice at least,
Yeah, we'll have
whoever
to
it
find
is.
out. Schofield Studios. I agree. His videos are on Sean Chandler's videos. I mean, I didn't want to say anything, but I think it's pretty freaking cool that you've met Sean Chandler. I mean, I I I I've been watching his videos for a couple years. He's
Hmm.
someone I really like on YouTube. I think he's awesome. And it's kind of cool that I'm talking to someone who's talked to him. I know that like that's probably weird to Sean Chandler, but how was it? Can you tell us just like a little bit how it was meeting Sean? Forget about them. Tell me, how was it? What was it like meeting Sean Chandler?
It was interesting because it's not the first time I've met a fellow YouTuber on the platform. This year even. Yeah, actually, back in January, I was in Florida for a week going to Disney World, and got to finally meet Anthony A. Perez. I don't know if you've watched his videos at all, but he's so it wasn't my first time meeting somebody like that, but also it's like somebody like Sean, who's very pretty high up in this
Yeah.
genre of YouTube. And it wasn't, we've interacted online a decent handful of times. Like we've collabed on a couple of videos on my channel and messaged a bit. So there was like a little bit of familiarity there, but uh, you know, kind of like we just met up like when he flew into Vegas, and it was like, oh, there he is in the flesh. But yeah, it was really cool. We went to we were both attending this 2-day conference about growing your YouTube channel. It was run by Think Media, which was pretty cool. So we kind of sat together both days. So we got to learn all this stuff together and just kind of started to really, make some jokes about what's going on and stuff. So yeah, it was just really nice to kind of get to peel back the curtain and just kind of see, him, who he, the real Sean Chandler, if you will. Didn't
Yeah,
know,
no
didn't
kidding.
learn like every gory detail about him, but I was like, oh, he's just a guy,
Yeah.
and I'm just another guy sitting next to him, and then made some questionable jokes on and off in between presentations that I'm not going to get into. But
Fair enough, man. You gotta keep something for yourself, right? Gotta keep
yeah,
something for
yeah,
yourself. Yeah, no, I just that's really cool. And what I really like about Sean Chandler too is he's such a he gives back to the community. Like
oh
I
yeah,
love his Real Creators channel. He's so openly honest about what it really takes to make it on YouTube or how to make it on YouTube and his experiences and his journey. it's really inspiring, and it's also puts into light like, holy crap, this would actually be a lot of work if I had to do it full time. So he's cool. He's awesome, and it's really cool that you've met him. Okay, moving on from the Sean Chandler love. I'm sure he's probably creeped out by me by now. If he's I got to tell you though, when I tagged you on my tweet the other day saying that you coming on the show, he
Mhm.
liked my tweet and I got some goosebumps. Anyways,
Oh, does he follow you or?
I don't think so, but I don't
Oh.
expect him to.
Oh, then it oh, he follows me on Twitter, so it might have been just like a through me, he liked you.
Probably, yeah, because I tagged you and he liked it. I don't know. It
Yeah,
was cool.
sorry,
It was like,
I don't mean to sound like I'm humble
goosebumps.
bragging or something there, but
No, go for it, man. It's fine. Your experience is right. Elizabeth, I watched Cody watching ET in IMAX. Loved that video. Yeah,
you
you're
watched
watching.
me watch it?
I don't know if she watched
Were
you
you
watch
sitting
it.
behind me? What's going on?
That's a good question, actually. Maybe she was. But I watched your videos on ET in IMAX, and you did Jaws in IMAX, and those did
Mhm.
really well for you too. I saw that your Jaws one has like 3,000 views on it,
Oh, yeah.
so that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really blown away by that. And
Yeah, keep.
Avatar's getting the re-release treatment this week, so guess what's coming next?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, they're really good videos.
Oh, thank you.
Neymar just sub to Brock. Yeah,
Woo!
Neymar, good job.
Yeah. It's always
Um,
fascinating. People that call me Cody, those that call me Brock, then call me Brockopp side. It's fairly evenly balanced, which is kind of fun.
I'm just gonna adjust PMP chimping in the chat real quick. I don't want to display that for all to see, and I'm not gonna confirm nor deny it. Luke Ponto. I liked both of the Michael Bay TMNT when I was younger, but the more I think about them, I start to hate them. I mean, I went to see that second one, Out of the Shadows, in theaters. Because of Bebop and Rocksteady and Krang and all that for nostalgia purposes, because I did watch the 80s cartoon when I was growing
Mhm.
up. But that movie's not good. I,
No,
I
I
can I
yeah,
can say that. It's not.
yeah,
It was kind of disappointing that all Bebop and Rocksteady did was look at their junk the whole time.
yeah, I ended up skipping it. I might
That's
watch it
fair,
for
man.
Stephen Amell someday, but that's about it.
He's forgettable in it, to be honest. And I like Stephen Amell, but he's kind of forgettable in that movie.
Yeah.
Uh, Luke Ponto, one of my friends sent me Heat on 4K, so I'm checking out the transfer, and it's honestly very good. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a good friend to have.
Yeah. Heard some people complain that it's a little dark as far as the transfer goes, but I haven't seen it myself, so but if you think it's good, then might have to pick that up. Maybe it'll go on sale in November. That'd be great.
Maybe. Schofield Studios. I remember Morbius being the number one movie on Netflix a few days ago. I mean, I like Morbius and all, but number one, come on, Netflix, you own The Office for 10 years. Uh,
Not
I
anymore.
I think in Canada they still do. Yeah, in Canada we still have The Office on. I believe, I could be wrong. I don't think we get Peacock in Canada because I've looked for it and we don't have it. Or at least
Really?
I couldn't find it. But The Office is still on. It's still licensed on Canada's Netflix.
That is not fair. I refuse to get Peacock.
Yeah, when that announcement went out that they were taking The Office off of Netflix, all the Canadians on my Facebook page were freaking out, and then they found out that Canada was keeping it, and it was like a second Canada Day all over. It was like, yeah, they were just stoked.
Take that, stupid Americans.
The one thing that we can have that you don't. But also that's cool because I think you're the first person I've seen, Schofield, that likes Morbius. So more power to you, man. That's awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Elizabeth, I get a lot of my movie news from Sean Chandler and 3C Films. 3C Films is someone I really like
3C's
watching
the
too.
bomb, yeah.
Yeah. Chris, right? That's his actual name.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's sweet. He's awesome.
Yeah.
And all right. Schofield Studio says Lucky. I don't know what he's referring. Oh, I think he's referring to The Office being on Netflix Canada. Okay, Lucky is what he's referring to. All right, guys, and with that, we're gonna move on to our last topic of the night. Um, all right, topic 3, Andor has premiered. You
Yes,
ready
it
for this?
has.
I
So
think we'll keep it non-spoiler, just in case. I
yeah,
don't think
yeah.
there's really much to spoil,
Yeah,
anyways.
it's been less than 24 hours. That's probably ideal.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we have a new Star Wars show on Disney Plus because Andor has finally come to the streaming service. Now, I'm going to be honest, going into Andor, I wasn't really excited for Andor. I liked Rogue One. I thought Rogue One was good. What
Mhm.
probably the best of the Disney Star Wars movies thus far. But I really didn't care for Diego Luna. No, Diego Luna's um Cassian Andor in that. I didn't really care about much of the characters in Rogue One. So when they announced that they were doing Andor, I was kind of like, why? Why are they doing this? Like
Same.
why do we need this? And then we got closer to the release date. Those trailers came out. I tried avoiding them because I wanted to go in blind, but I watched the one that they released with D23 and then I got really excited because the show looked really good. Then
Mhm.
the early reviews came out and they were really good. People were saying if you fell out of love with Star Wars, this is the one to watch. So got up early this morning, watched the first 3 episodes of Andor, and I gotta say, it's good. Like it's it's
Mhm.
pretty good. First of all, the from a technical standpoint, I love at least for these first 3 episodes that they didn't use the volume because the volume
Mm.
it used in Mandalorian, used in Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan, I think it works well enough. Like it's not bad at all, but you can feel the difference with this show that they're actually on location, that they're actually shooting in real environments. It's totally more immersive in that way. And another thing that I really liked about these first 3 episodes is the storyline I thought was really interesting. I don't know if it's going to be the whole show, but at least for these 3 episodes, it was like a fugitive um kind of storyline.
Mhm.
Like the way that George Lucas, when he talks about how he created Star Wars, he says you got to make it. I'm paraphrasing, but he said you have to make it otherworldly, but still have familiarity for the audience to connect to. And this
Right.
was a full-on story of a fugitive and a up and coming detective in a way who's trying to prove himself, trying to capture the fugitive who's on the run. And I was
Mm.
not expecting that from this show at all. I did
Yeah.
find that there was a little bit of a pacing issue for me because they do flashbacks, they cut back to a young Cassian.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like those scenes gelled as well throughout the rest of the episode, but I
Mhm.
thought
Yeah, same.
the acting by everyone was phenomenal. Like
Yeah,
really, really good.
definitely.
I really like this Imperial guy. I think he's Imperial. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I really like him. He's going after Cassian. Really into his story so far. I think they've given him a really good motivation to the fact that he's not just a bad guy. You understand why he's doing what he's doing, which I really liked. And I loved this freaking droid. I think his name is B2 Emo, steals the show. Like I
Yeah.
was worried because they weren't going to bring in K2SO into this show with Andor, but
Mhm.
this droid totally takes his place fine for me. Like I love this droid. I thought the
Yeah.
humor really worked too. It had that classic Star Wars humor that you find in the original trilogy where it's kind of from the characters and situational, and I
Mhm.
really liked the return to that. And the acting, like I said, was really good so far. I'm not gonna lie, I still don't love the character of Cassian Andor yet. I still am not really into his character. I kind of see him at this point as just the vessel who's taking us through the world. But I'm more open minded to giving him a shot more so than I've been before.
Yeah.
So this was a good hit for me. What did you think, man? What did you think of the first 3 episodes of Andor?
I mean, the first 3 episodes, they definitely work together so well that it was definitely smart of them to release all 3 with the debut because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if they just left it with the first episode, I would have been like, "Okay, yeah," but having that 3-part pilot of sorts definitely was like, "Oh, okay, I can dig this." Uh, I think the biggest thing that I appreciate about it so far, and it sounds like the whole show is going to be, is that it's taking itself seriously. Like, it's
Yes.
not just trying to throw cameos and references to the greater Skywalker saga and everything. It's not built on fan service. That's what showrunner Tony Gilroy said in interviews. Like, this is a story in the Star Wars universe. It's not fan service the musical, which I'm like, yes.
And we're not on Tatooine. We're not on Tatooine.
Yeah, because that's like it didn't bother me like in the beginning, but now it's like it's starting to get a little overwhelming at times. Like with Mandalorian season two, it's like okay, yeah, bring Boba Fett back, makes sense. You want to bring Ahsoka to live action? Okay, sure, yeah, okay, fine. And then then you got Bo-Katan from Clone Wars, and of course Luke Skywalker. Where it's like okay, cool moment and all, but I kind of liked it when the show was more its own separate entity.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and of course, you got Book of Boba Fett and the Obi-Wan show, which are very fan servicey, where it's like, can we just have a show or a movie that's just trying to do something within this universe that's not calling back to itself all the time? That's been my biggest takeaway so far, but also with what we've got so far, I think it's got some really creative elements going on, like the part where I forget what the characters' names are all, but when they're in that factory and all the spindles start falling down from the
Mm-hmm.
roof and everything, I thought that was super cool. If that's just a small taste of what we're gonna get for the rest of the season, I'm totally on board. Like I can't wait to see where all these characters go, and I think this will be. It's definitely got the potential to be something really special and not just a toy commercial.
Yeah, no, I agree. And also, kind of going back to a point that you made, um, with the Disney Plus shows, and this is more so on a Marvel side than I think Star Wars has had. They
Hmm.
always have, I feel, really good starts, and then when you get into the middle, by the time you get to the end, they always kind of fizzle out for me a little bit more. They don't always stay consistent. Star Wars has been better with that. I didn't really like Book of Boba Fett, but Mandalorian, both season 1 and 2, managed to stick
Hmm.
the landing for me. And even Obi-Wan, even though I was up and down on that series a little bit, the ending of that I thought was really good and had a
Yeah.
good conclusion. Although I will sidetrack a little bit and say that this show kind of makes me mad because this is the budget and this is the look that Obi-Wan should have had. Just saying, like the ships, the air travel, everything in this looks 100 times better than what we got in Obi-Wan. Not that Obi-Wan was bad, but moving on. One thing
Yeah.
that you brought up that did kind of come to my mind as I watched it,
Mhm.
I am glad that they dropped 3 episodes because they've
Yeah.
kind of already told us that it's going to be structured in a way that 3 episodes is a storyline that leads into another 3 episode storyline. Um,
Oh,
when
yeah.
when the first episode ended, I kind of felt like you. I was like, ah, okay, and then kept watching.
And I
We're not
kept
going to
watching.
have that next week. They're only going to drop 1 episode next week. Do you think the way that this
Yeah.
show is structured and what we've seen with these first 3 episodes, do you think that's going to end up hurting the show? Because this 3 episode start really did play out as a beginning, middle, and end to me of a story. It felt like a first
Mhm.
act, a second act, to a third act with the third episode. Do you
Yeah.
think? I mean, I know that if they drop all 3 episodes at once every time, the show's going to be over in like 2 weeks. But do you think the fact that they've structured it in that way and they're only going to be dropping 1 episodes from now on, do you think that's going to hurt the audience's view of the show?
Maybe not necessarily, because these first 3 episodes, like you said, they did feel contained in their own sense, but now it's like things have been set up. We know,
Mm-hmm.
like, we've got our leads, we've got our droid, we've got our antagonists, we've got a feel for everything. So I think that will benefit things going forward, since it is going to be single episode releases from here till episode 12. I believe it's a 12 episode
Yeah.
series this time. So I think it just comes down to, is it going to keep telling a compelling story each week?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. I've honestly like been in my head, I've been debating. I'm like, should I just wait for the next 3 episodes? Should I just wait 3 weeks until I have the next 3 episodes available that I can just binge them again? Because I'm not gonna lie, if they had only dropped the first episode, I would have been disappointed. I would have been unfulfilled is the word I would use. That first episode
yeah.
also ends kind of abruptly, in my opinion. Where they decided that to put the credits, it kind of took me off guard a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what we're both saying is that solid start for Andor.
Yeah, definitely.
What did you guys think of the premiere of Andor episodes 1 through 3? Comment down below. Let us know all your thoughts and opinions about this show so far. We'd love to hear them. And let's take a look at what you guys are saying. And all right, guys, the rest of the show, that's our last topic. So we are just going to be taking your live comments and questions for as long as you guys want to go for. And while you guys are starting to type those in, let me just tell you really quickly about, you guys know it, Movie Palette. Real quick, before we continue with this video, I want to tell you guys about the great folks over at MoviePalette.com. MoviePalette takes a color of every scene from your favorite movie and puts it on a beautiful canvas. Behind me right here, I got their Back to the Future selection hanging up above me, my favorite movie of all time. And MoviePalette.com has thousands of your favorite movies to choose from. And for the wonderful viewers of the Zach Milne Talks Movies YouTube channel, you guys get 15% off of any movie palette of your choice when you go to moviepalette.com and use the promo code ZachTalks15 at the checkout. That's ZACH Talks 15. Not only will you guys get 15% off of the movie palette of your choice, but you'll also be helping out the Zach Milne Talks Movies channel tremendously. So go to moviepalette.com and use the promo code ZachTalks15 at the checkout to get 15% off of any movie palette of your choice today. And thank you to the good people over at Movie Palette for partnering up and supporting the Zach Milne Talks Movies YouTube channel. All right, guys, let's get back to the video. Finally found a way to upload that one. I've hated using the other one. I've been trying to reshoot it and stuff, but it just hasn't been working out. So yeah, guys, go get yourself a movie palette. Great company, great decor. I love mine hanging in the room here. And with that said, let's get
Which
to
one
your
do you have?
comments and questions. Sorry?
Which palette do you have back there again?
Oh, it's Back to the Future, the first one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's not bad, huh?
Yeah, I might have to get one of those myself.
Yeah, definitely check it out, dude. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And they have I think you can even request a movie that you'd want made into a palette. I believe they have that option. But they've got thousands of options there to choose from.
Nice. That would look great in my little home theater. So,
Absolutely. All right, Rob Chris Johnson. What's happening, comrades? Well, we just finished our topics, and now we're going on to just talk with you guys for the rest of the night. So thanks for joining us, Rob. Thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, sorry I'm cheating on you with another Canadian right now, but
All Canadians are friends. It's a fact in Canada.
that's what
Luke,
I've heard.
Luke Ponto. Hey, Cody, Heat is on sale for $17.99 on 4K. That's pretty cool.
Where?
That's a good question. Where, Luke? Where is that available? Let us know. Schofield. Why is it that the only streaming service that rhymes with P and cock have the best show on earth and not the dying mega giant that is Netflix? I don't know. Netflix is in a little bit of trouble from the sounds of it.
It seems like the trouble started once The Office left Netflix, too. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, it is kind of funny. I don't know. I think Netflix will pull through, but
I don't know.
yeah.
I still refuse to get Peacock. I'm like, I'll just go buy the whole series on Blu-ray. They did a box set. I'll get it, and then I'll never have this problem again. Live off the grid, you know?
Well, that's the thing about all these streaming services too, is that with almost every studio or every company making their own, eventually these licensing agreements are gonna die out, and they're all just gonna have what they have and not share with anyone else. I mean, I think Disney's already trying to put that into play too. I think they have licensing agreements that are still ongoing, but once those licensing agreements are done, I think they're planning on taking all their stuff and just locking it on Disney Plus. And I think you'll find
Wouldn't be
NBC doing the
surprised.
same thing with their shows on Peacock.
Yeah, but how many subscribers could Peacock possibly have, though? I mean, come on.
Well, if they're not coming to Canada, not much. Schofield Studios. I literally just saw the first 3 episodes, and even though I don't think they did a good job showing why the blue officers are a threat, I really liked it. I don't. The blue officers, I think they did a decent job with that.
I kind of forget what their whole deal was, but
yeah,
just kind of see some non-imperial bad guys for a change. That was kind of neat.
yeah. It wasn't necessary to know too much. It worked just in the show as it was. Lisbeth, I like Andor way more than Rogue One. I reserve judgment until the show's over.
Yeah. If
Because
anything, they'll be lovely companion pieces to each other.
that's exactly how they feel they're gonna be.
Yeah. And funny enough, like a couple weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, they put Rogue One back on IMAX screens with a special look at Andor, which I think they showed the factory scene from episode 3, if I remember correctly. So that was kind of cool. Get to kind of rewatch Rogue One in IMAX before the show dropped. So
That's pretty cool. You got to
just
see
putting that
that
out there.
clip of Andor on IMAX.
Yeah, I got to see Vader chop up all those rebels on the
Oh,
big screen
so
for the third
good.
time. So that's neat.
So good. So good. Schofield Studios wouldn't say it saved Star Wars. The franchise was doing okay with its Obi-Wan, with its okay, Obi-Wan crap, Obi, and Book of Bull crap show, but this is a huge step up. Yeah, I forgot that I put that question in the title, to be honest. Whoopsie. But yeah, the shows on Disney Plus, first of all, even with Andor, I miss Star Wars on the big screen, dude. Like specifically the episodic episodes though.
I
Like
don't miss the online discourse, but yeah, there's something about seeing a Star Wars movie theatrical. That's just something pretty
that's where it
cool.
was born. That's where it should be. But with the shows, aside from like Mandalorian, obviously is good. Obi-Wan I thought was all right. I did not like Book of Boba Fett. So I've been kind of up and down with Star Wars because all I've had to base it on is the shows that they've been putting out. But
Mm-hmm.
this does make me more excited for Star Wars on TV than Star Wars on TV has ever felt to me.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from because Mandalorian is still my favorite of the Star Wars Disney Plus shows right now. Uh, Book of Boba Fett I thought was okay. I've just never been a big fan of Boba Fett, just generally. I
Yeah,
honestly think he's severely overrated, if I'm being completely honest with you. But
preach it, brother.
yeah, but the
I've been
Obi
alone
Wan,
for so long.
yeah, it's like he fell into the Sarlacc pit and died. The end. That's it. But I liked the Obi Wan show though. It gave me what I thought it was gonna do. Just Ewan McGregor back in the role, Hayden Christensen back
Hmm.
as Anakin Darth Vader. Have them face off one more time, and then you watch the original trilogy again. So it
Yeah,
worked. It wasn't amazing, but it was just cool to see them again after 17 years.
absolutely.
Should have been a movie though. It's like
Oh,
should have been a movie.
completely agree. Completely
That would
agree.
have
And the
made big money too.
oh yeah. And the frustrating thing too is that it was supposed to be a movie before they decided to transition it into a show. Probably just to get more subscribers on Disney Plus is probably the whole motivation for that. And maybe based on how it turned out to make it a little bit cheaper. They probably wanted to make it cheaper. But I mean, the way I sum up my whole feelings with Obi-Wan Kenobi is it gave me exactly what I wanted, but put a bunch of unnecessary stuff around it. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, basically.
Rob, Chris Johnson. I'm just gonna call him Rob because I feel like I'm butchering his last name. Is the tone of Andor Rogue One better suited to a TV series, or has The Mandalorian kind of set us up for that vibe? I think The Mandalorian. That's one of the things that works really well about The Mandalorian too. Is it kind of takes that Star Wars saying that George Lucas says, where it's like make it familiar but make it otherworldly. The
Mhm.
Mandalorian is a straight up Western show,
Yeah.
and that I think that's the charm and the specialness that it brings to the galaxy and to its own show. Whereas
Mhm.
Andor is definitely playing more as like a I don't know like a thriller or like I said like a fugitive on the run story. Like it's very different from what the Mandalorian is bringing.
Mhm.
Based on what they're doing with the show, I would say that the structure is working better as a TV show thus far.
Yeah.
But by the end of the series, I could be saying it should have been a movie. So I'm going to hold judgment on that for now. But I don't think Rogue One should have been a series. I think that worked fine as a movie.
Yeah, I think Rogue One was it was a perfect story to tell on the big screen with a big budget because it fills in a couple of gaps with before A New Hope with the story of the
Hmm.
Death Star plans. I feel like if it was a TV show, it would have been just dragged out for 6 to 9 episodes opposed to a 2 hour, 15-minute movie. And Mandalorian is perfect for a TV show. It's a little bit of a slower burn at the beginning with, Mando collecting his bounties and
Yeah.
everything. But Andor so far is working as a TV series, and it's something we might, our opinions might shift, like you said, once the season's already over. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
We'll have to just wait and see what happens with that. Schofield Studios. It's always nice when a franchise that isn't doing great has a big win. Hoping for the same thing in Wakanda Forever. What are you feeling about Wakanda Forever? I haven't asked you about that yet.
Oh boy. Honestly, it's gonna be a difficult watch. At least for the first showing, part of it's
Yeah.
gonna almost feel like attending a memorial service. I think that's probably how the movie's gonna play out at the beginning, and it's just a real shame because Chadwick Boseman, man, was definitely gone way too soon. It was one of those celebrity deaths that like
Yeah.
shook a lot of people around me. That was like, oh my god, he's gone.
Yeah.
So, but I have faith in Ryan Coogler and what he will do with the film. And honestly, that trailer has played in front of every movie that's come out since it dropped, and it really just gets me a little emotional each time. So, if the movie is just even an ounce like that trailer, I think we're in for something wonderful.
Yeah. I hope so. Because that trailer kind of gave me new hope for it. Because, man, do they have an uphill battle with that. Namor. Ray from the old Star Wars movies from the 90s versus Ray now. Ray from the Star Wars movies from the 90s. I don't know what that. Do you know what that's referring to?
Are you talking about Rey Mysterio, the wrestling guy? You're talking about Rey Skywalker from Rise of Skywalker, Episode 9.
The only
Maybe
Star Wars
saying,
movies I know from the
maybe,
90s is Phantom Menace.
maybe saying if would Rey be better in the prequels versus the newer movies? I don't know.
I don't know. Namor, if you're still in here, if you can give us some clarification, that would be great. Thanks, man. Sorry we can't answer that. I'm not quite sure. Schofield Studios. The action scenes were really good and shot very well. Very, very
Yeah,
low on the action till like about the last episode, but
yeah, the
it
last
was really
episode
good.
definitely. Yeah, and it felt unique too. It wasn't just blasters and X wings and stuff. It was
Hmm.
like I said, the spindles and the chains collapsing, having to kind of like bob and weave around. Like that's pretty cool. I like it when different set dressing like that can be incorporated into action and things like that.
Absolutely. And one thing, without giving too much away, that I will say about this is they made death matter in Star Wars for almost
Ah,
the first
yeah,
time.
that's a
Like
good point.
when
It, wa-
people die in this show,
it
I
wasn't. Oh,
feel
whatever.
the
It's like
weight. I feel the weight of it like I haven't felt in Star Wars before.
that's very true. Because other times, like, oops, kill another stormtrooper. Let's get on the ship and blow more things up. But now this one, it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
these are like lives with like corpses and stuff. Wow.
yeah, I like how they did that. Lisbeth, Andor is the best Star Wars show since The Mandalorian. I think even after 3 episodes, I can agree with that. I don't know because I really liked the first 3 episodes of Obi-Wan, but that's mostly because of the Vader stuff that I really and I was more connected to the characters than I am with Andor. But it has the potential to be the best Star Wars show. I'll say that.
Definitely. Makes you wonder what the Star Wars shows after this one will be like by comparison.
Yeah,
If it'll make people like demand more like this, or if it'll be like, if it'll just be like, all right, back to more fan servicey stuff.
it's gonna be hard to go back after this if that's what they're gonna do. Luke Ponto, which one would you watch first? Bodies, 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 or Men? Both A24 films. I've heard more. I haven't seen either one of those. I don't know if you've seen either one of those. Have you seen either one of these?
I did in fact see Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Really liked it.
Mhm.
Men, I've heard too many negative things, so I have no desire to check it out. But Bodies, Bodies, Bodies was a good time. The ending was The ending
Yeah,
was fantastic.
that's where I was gonna go. I haven't seen either of these, but I've heard much better things about Bodies, Bodies, Bodies than I have of Men. So I'll go with that one. Schofield Studios. By the way, for that community post where you asked for horror movies to react to, I may have sent more requests than I should have, and 2 of my comments disappeared. You should check held for a review. Yeah, I was interested about that because if you guys don't know, this morning I had it. Not this morning, but like throughout this week, I kind of had an idea of for the Halloween season doing reactions to horror films that I haven't seen before. So I put out a community post asking if you guys would be interested in that and if you had any suggestions. And I saw that I had 4 comments on it, but YouTube wasn't letting me view them. So I may have to check the held for review like you're mentioning because I don't know what happened to them. I tried to check them out and YouTube wouldn't let me see them. So thanks for letting me know that, man. And if you guys want to go to that community post and post a suggestion, go for it. Fresh News 247. Well, thank you for joining us, Fresh News. Thank you for being here tonight, man. We're happy to have you here. Is this live or pre-recorded? This is live. If you're still here, we're talking to you right now in real time. Exciting, isn't it? Luke Ponto. I didn't see a palette for the black phone, unfortunately. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Maybe it's too recent. But I think they do have a section where you can request a movie palette. So
Yeah.
maybe take a look at that. Rob is responding to Fresh News saying that it's live, and I just saw that Rob sent in $5 for a super chat. So thank you so much, Rob. That's really generous of you. I thank you so
Very
much.
nice.
I don't deserve it, but I'll take it. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, Fresh News is responding to Rob. Schofield, I would recommend the movie palette for Morbius. The colors are the following: brown for poop, and that's it.
That's not true. There was some blue in there, like once,
Yeah, like that movie's so dull.
except for Matt Smith, but otherwise, yeah.
Namor, should there be a Back to the Future reboot? I know they're gonna do it one
No,
day,
no, no, no,
but
no, no, no,
I
no,
don't want
no.
it.
Don't manifest that. Nope. No, 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 no,
Yeah,
no, no,
I
no,
don't
no, no,
want
no,
that.
no.
I don't want that. I mean, how how would you do it is my question because I think there was such a cultural and like just bigger shift from the 50s to the 80s in terms of technology and how things evolved. Whereas if you went back, if you did 30 years again from today, it would only be 1992, which is still a big jump, but the internet's just starting up. There are types of cell phones. It's not as advanced, but it's also not too like what are you gonna do? Have someone run around looking for a phone book as a comedic bit? Like I don't know if it can work as well as going
Yeah.
from the 80s to the 50s.
Like, do you guys have NFTs here? What the frick is an NFT?
I take it back. It totally works. Please make it now.
No.
Lisbeth, what's a movie you think had great promotion, but the movie just sucked? For me, it's between Morbius and Out of the Shadows.
This is just like the Morbus Variety Hour, isn't it? Wow.
Welcome to the channel, man. It's Morbin time all the time in this chat, and I love them. I love them for it. A good promotion, but a terrible movie. Can you think of one off the top of your head? I'm terrible with these.
Oh boy. Good promotion, terrible movie. I mean, hmm. Like terrible in terms of disappointing or just straight up bad because that could change things a little bit because
Probably either or will work.
because it's like with when the Justice League promos, like all the marketing started for that, it was still
Mm,
decently the Snyder cut. But then as it got closer and closer and closer, it was Justice League, and we all know how that went. But then we got the Snyder cut later, so I kind of reprimanded it. Morbius did not look good, period, and it was not good. So there was that. Oh, okay, no,
I
this
just
is
thought of one. You just jogged my memory.
yeah.
Suicide Squad. 2016 Suicide Squad.
Mm, I don't hate that movie like everyone else does, but I will admit it's
Mhm.
quite flawed.
I don't hate it, but I was definitely the first time I watched it, I was like higher than the moon on it. I went with a bunch of my friends who were just like
Hmm.
fangirling the entire time, and I got caught up in their fangirling. And then I went home and I told my brother, I told my dad, I told my cousin, like, this movie's awesome. It's great. And then we all went to go see it again, and it fell apart right before my eyes. Like, without the fangirl in there to hype me up, I was just like picking apart everything and noticing all the flaws.
That
But
was
that
kind.
trailer was awesome with the Bohemian Rhapsody song and everything.
You know what? I'll give that to you because honestly, it was kind of the same thing with me as well. Because I think the Suicide Squad, not the Suicide Squad, that was an incredible marketing campaign. Like the posters were all top notch, trailers fantastic. Like everybody was talking about the movie, at least in my neck of the woods. You know, I went on the Warner Brothers studio tour like the month before, and they had a whole Suicide Squad spread. So it was like Suicide Squad fever for a while there. So it's like, yeah, theaters were packed. It was so cool to see opening night. And then I went for an encore showing, like, I don't know how much later. And I was like, hey, wait a minute. This might actually suck. It's kind of just,
Yeah.
yeah, but the memories are kind of what make me not dislike it. It's like, oh, this was a
Yeah.
good time back in
Yeah. I had a good time
2016.
with my friends fangirling on it that first time. So, and you know
Yeah.
what? The Suicide Squad from James Gunn made up for all of it because that movie was
Yeah,
awesome.
but I still have the Suicide Squad album and on CD in my car, and I jam out to it every now and again. It's
It's
quite
got a
good.
good soundtrack, man.
That was my
Fresh
college
news.
playlist right there.
Are we doing spoilers in chat for Andor? Normally, I don't mind, but I don't think we're going to do it for tonight. Just in respect to everyone who hasn't had a chance to watch it yet. But thank you for asking before
Yeah,
you went. Like, that was very considerate of you. Thank you, Fresh News.
yeah. If you want spoilers, go to Twitter. It probably took them 5 minutes to start doing
Yep,
it.
there's tons there. Just search Andor. Luke Ponto, Amazon and Best Buy have Heat on sale on 4K. Well, there you go.
Oh,
That's
oh,
where you can
cool.
find it.
I might still
Uh,
just wait, but till Black Friday when it can be like a little cheaper. But I'll pick it up for sure soon.
There's Rob sending in that $5 for the coffee fund. I don't drink coffee, but my wife is gonna really appreciate that. She loves coffee. So thank you so much again, man, for sending that in. That was really kind of you, really considerate, and I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Schofield Studios. Did you know that Disney won't own Mickey Mouse in 10 years and it'll be in public domain? Do you think they will go down on the Mickey merch when that happens, or still use him a lot? Huh.
Disney's gonna
That's
lawyer the heck up
Yeah,
for that,
Disney's
and
not going to let
it's
that
nuts.
happen. Yeah, you're right. Disney's not going to let that go to public domain. I
Yeah,
don't think.
they will fight, and also it's yeah, it's also one of those things where it's like if a character becomes public domain, like Winnie the Pooh, he's public domain. You can use him, but you can't use the elements that other people have utilized. Like, so you can't
Yeah,
do
that's
the
true.
Disney version of Winnie the Pooh. You got to do something different. So I don't know if Mickey Mouse is like if this started with like Steamboat Willie or some of the much earlier like little animations, but because that could factor in things too. Like there could just be a different type of Mickey Mouse, but not the Disney version of him, if that makes sense.
No,
So
that's a really good point. I totally forgot about that because even like Thor is in public domain, the Norse god, but you can't make a Thor movie and have it be the Avengers Thor or have any tie to that Thor.
yeah,
So I
you just
guess it would
got
be the same for Mickey Mouse,
yeah,
but I don't really know the origins of Mickey Mouse well enough to know if. Huh, that's interesting. I don't know. We'll find out in 10 years. That's the correct answer. Lisbeth, what are you guys most excited to see in She-Hulk finale, even though we all know what we want to see? The
Daredevil.
finale is not happening tomorrow. Or is it? I'm so confused. Is it tonight it comes out at midnight? No, yeah,
It's
it
not
comes
the
out tomorrow.
finale. It's 9 episodes, I
Yeah,
believe.
that's what I was gonna say. The sixth episode comes out, but this series is actually 9 episodes long. So we're not getting the finale tomorrow night. But yeah, he's showing up. He's gotta finally show up.
Yeah.
Especially at the last episode, they finally teased him
Mm-hmm.
and basically screamed at us that he was coming. That's a sick hot toy, by the way.
It's not a hot toy. Actually, I think it's a Diamond Select PVC statue.
Ah, nice. I got some diamond selects as well.
Yeah, it was like $50, but it's a very nice little display piece for back here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Rob, Han shot first and Boba Fett died. Han shot first, and Boba Fett died. Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah,
So Book of Boba Fett is not canon in your mind.
that's just a
I,
hallucination while he was drowning in the Sarlacc pit.
you know what? I'm totally on board with that, man. And you know what though? Um, the opening of that show where you saw him in the Starlight Pit, that was pretty cool. The way
And
they
as
opened the
yeah,
show was pretty awesome. Finally seeing the inside of the Sarlacc pit, the thing that's haunted me since I was a child, because it like being slowly digested over the course of 1,000 years. I knew that you would die before then because you don't live to be 1,000. You'd probably only be in there for 3 days alive before you died.
yeah,
But that's a horrifying thought.
true.
So to see the inside of that thing was really cool. I'm not talking about the story, but the tone. A little darker. The people are a little darker, maybe more cynical about people. Oh, okay. This is going back to, does Andor and Rogue One belong on TV rather than a movie? I don't think a darker tone with people that are a little darker, more cynical couldn't be a movie. I don't think that has to do with going to TV or going to movies at all.
I think I see where he's coming from though, because with pretty much every Star Wars movie we've gotten, it's the generally same tone where it's more it's the more fun blockbustery type humor, where this one is a little more cynical, a lot more serious, more muted color, more muted tone period. So
Hmm.
I think that works perfectly for TV, because it's not like, because I feel like if this was a movie with that kind of tone, certain eccentric members of the fan base would have probably screamed bloody murder over it, and there would have been a madhouse on Disney's hands. But as a TV show, I think it definitely, the more cynical route works more.
Hmm, that's a good point. Schofield Studios. Since we're getting a reboot of The Karate Kid where the teenager teaches the old man, should we get a Rocky reboot where Rocky is a rich guy beating up the underdog? Oh man. No.
Hey, give me your lunch money.
I think that's really funny, but no.
No, leave Rocky alone. He's a
And
good
if we
guy.
get a reboot of Rocky, will we get a reboot of Star Wars where Darth Vader is trying to kill a bunch of evil terrorists who blow up a military base?
He already did
Oh my
that.
goodness. I'm down for a Vader. I just want a Vader show or a Vader movie. I don't care at this point if they're going to do it that way. I just want one. Schofield. Vader, you killed my son. Luke, no, I am your son. No.
No.
I love these switcheroos. That's really funny. Schofield Studios. Jokes aside, would you be open to a reboot of Star Wars in 30 years? No.
No, just find new ways to keep it going, continuity and all. It's one of
Yeah.
those things that's stood the test of time for 40 plus years, so I think I'll do it for another 40 plus years.
Yeah, I just don't see them doing a reboot though at this, like, in 30 years. How old will I be? I'll be 60. I'll probably still care. So yeah, I don't want them to do a reboot of Star Wars in 30 years. I don't know. That's an interesting one. It's like kind of like the MCU. Like it's just an ongoing, it's its own organism at this point. Like it's never going to die.
True.
Rob, tagging me, you send Marty's kid or grandchild back to 1955.
As a punishment? Or
Okay, I can see what you mean, but then uh,
I don't know, going back to the 50s
then it but then it
again
gets
would be kind of.
muddled too, because how are you going to do that? Are you going to send him back in time to 1955, and then you're going to deep fake a Marty McFly that's already there with a deep fake Crispin Glover and a deep faked Leah Thompson, or do you send him to 1955 to a different date and then just kind of like remake the movie with Marty's grandchild? Both of those I see complications with.
Yeah, I think there's some horror movie in development right now, which is like Back to the Future meets Scream. So I think something like that be more ideal. Take the idea, but do something else with it, not Back to the Future related.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see how it can work now.
Nah.
nowadays. I think it's one of those. It's yeah, I just days. Namor, there should be a Morbius 2 to continue the memes. I mean that the memes they sustain themselves. They're gonna be around. I think longer than Morbius is gonna be around.
Yep.
Lisbeth, wait, She-Hulk is 9 episodes. I guess I'm just so used to that 6 episode Disney Plus. Yeah, they don't promote their episodes very well either. I feel like when you like, I don't know how they can do it. Maybe like when you start a series, they should have like episode 1 out of blank because they do switch up their because I'm sure a lot of people don't even know that Andor is going for 12 episodes. But if they had like episode 1 out of 12 when you start it, then you kind of know what
Hmm.
to wait for because when they have kind of conditioned us to only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
So I can see why you got the confusion there. Rob, Cody got what I was trying to say. Retone.
As
Retone.
far as tone goes, we're on the
Oh.
same wavelength as far as what he's thinking about.
Oh
Like
yeah, he's got
tone
it
for a
right
Star
here.
Wars movie versus tone for a.
Reboot. I kind of think of episode 7 as a soft reboot, you know? Oh, that's probably for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Episode 7 as a soft reboot. Yeah, it kind of is.
Basically, I mean, it's basically a new hope for a new generation, literally. So
Yeah,
they'll
that's a good
probably just
point.
keep doing that every couple of generations or so, and it'll go on till the planet explodes.
Yeah. We'll be long gone before Star Wars is gone. That's what I know.
Back in my day, we had Jar Jar.
Rob, a Back to the Future reboot. I wasn't saying it was a good idea. I
We can
mean, it's unique.
we can at least take comfort in the fact that it won't happen until Steven Spielberg is gone. Like and like Robert Zemeckis and all them. Once they're all gone, then Universal can do it. But we've got several years at least grace period
We
before
hope
that
so.
happens.
We hope so. But yeah, I think that's right. I think Steven Spielberg has it for Jaws and Back to the Future, where he won't allow a remake to happen or a reboot until he passes away. I remember reading
Yeah.
that somewhere. All right, guys, and we are all caught up with the comments and questions at the moment. So we'll give you guys just a couple more minutes if you want to throw more in there. And while they're doing that, Cody, why don't you tell the people where they can find you and your channel and all that stuff? Go promote yourself, buddy.
All right. Well, I believe Zach said my channel link is in the description. You can find me on the Brockopp side. It's the place to live, talk, and buy movies. Talk a lot of movies, delve a lot into the physical media side of things, but overall, the channel is just trying to be all about the experience and the culture of movies, going to see them, talking about them, picking up merchandise, buying the Blu-ray, all that good stuff. But if you want to follow me on the social medias, you can basically type the Brockup side into every platform: Twitter, Instagram. I even have a TikTok that I use once in a while. So if you want to come find me, that's where you do it.
All right, guys, and yeah, definitely go find him. I'm telling you, I'm gonna gush about you again. Really creative dude, makes great content. You won't be disappointed, trust me. And looks like we got another comment here from Lisbeth, real quick. Have you ever made a whole movie plot in the shower? I don't know if I've ever made a whole movie plot in the shower, but it was a couple weeks ago. And I don't know. I guess someone could steal this idea now. But my wife and I were watching a reality show. I can't even remember what it was called, but it was like a dating show. And this girl had like traveled 3 hours to get to the guy she met online, and the whole time they were filming her in the passenger seat. And I
Hmm.
was thinking of like who is I see you steal my idea right now.
No, no,
Um
wait, no, no, sorry, what?
And I was thinking to myself, like, is she just driving for 3 hours with the cameraman? Like, what do they talk about? What would they do? And then this kind of like romantic comedy idea came to my mind where it's like this girl and her boyfriend, who she's only dated through Tinder or whatever, are signing up for this reality show to finally meet each other for the first time. And she has to travel with the cameraman, and the whole road trip shenanigans happen throughout the movie, and on the way she actually falls in love with the cameraman and falls out of love with her Tinder boyfriend.
Hmm.
One shower, and that's what I thought up, man. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
It's probably not good, but it's the only one I can think of.
Yeah, I don't think I've crafted a movie in the shower, but I've had like ongoing sagas of series that I hope to get off the ground one day. So I'm not gonna go into details, so nobody steals them. But
That's probably a
you know,
smart idea.
the shower is where you do your best thinking.
Rob's responding to Elizabeth saying, yes, he does. Schofield Studios, the shower brings the screenwriter out of me. My wife's in the chat. Cassidy's in here. Your idea was better than the actual show. Yeah, we didn't like the show all that much. Rob, LOL, much like the singer, Schofield Studios. Oh, much more of a singer, Schofield Studios. And Namor, Peen Bagley as Mr. Fantastic is my fan cast for Mr. Fantastic if John Krasinski doesn't play Mr. Fantastic. Who's Bean Badgley? I don't remember. I don't remember who that is. Peen Badgley.
Oh,
Do you know who that is?
he's the guy from You. I,
Oh, okay. So he's the
yeah,
one that's been the rumors have been going around.
yeah. I could definitely see that. He's a very intelligent. The way he plays his character there, very methodical, very intelligent. A bit creepy and stalkerish, a lot creepy and stalkerish actually. But pull that back. I think he could definitely pull off the smartest man in the universe for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And Elizabeth is saying, sorry, Zach and Cody got around. That's okay, Elizabeth. We're pretty much wrapped up here. You are
Yeah.
the last comment. So, with that, guys, that'll wrap up this episode of Zach Milne Talks Live. I want to give a huge thank you to all of you guys who watched live, watched the replay, listened over at the Zach Milne Talks Movies podcast. If you can't make it for a live show, the podcast is always there for you to listen to. Links are in the description below. And of course, I want to thank my good friend Cody from the Brockopp side for joining me on this episode. I had a great time talking with you, man. This is actually the first time that we've met and that we're talking. So
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun, man, to get to do the show with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. I like being on various live shows. It's always fun to get to know more people in the community and not have to worry about a script too.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And we'll definitely have you back, man.
Oh,
You're gonna be coming
cool.
back. Rob says, well, I got a jet. Great show, gents. Ciao, everyone. Thank you. And thank you so much for that super chat, man. Thank you so much. And my wife says the sweet talks of Zach and Cody. Yeah, we gotta rename the show the Sweet Talks of Zach and Cody. That's better than what I came up with at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, just make that a secret sequel show that only the cool kids get to watch.
All right, guys. As always, we will see you again next week. Same Zach time, same Zach channel.